What up, y'all? It's your boy Martine, aka the Boxing Purist. Welcome once again to the Truth and Absolute channel, where I speak the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, good God Almighty. All right, y'all, welcome back. Now listen, for those of you who have been subscribed to my channel, I appreciate the crap out of you. For those of y'all who are about to subscribe in this video, much love to you guys. Welcome to the channel. Enjoy. You know what I'm saying? It's the Truth and Absolute Boxing channel. We just keep it real, even in our discussions down below. If you want to jump in the comments, we like to keep it boxing, yo. We try to let all the other stuff that fans tend to include in boxing conversations, we leave that at the door. We strictly focus on the skills of a fighter. And like I said, leave everything else at the door. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this one. So, most of y'all know by now that it looks like Sebastian Fundora, the 6'6" shooting guard, is looking to face none other than, no, not Terance Bud Crawford like all of us thought, but Eroll Spence Jr. Now, of course, everyone is like, how the hell does Eroll Spence jump in front of Crawford? Because you guys, like myself, were expecting Terance Bud Crawford to face the winner of Tim Tszyu and Fundora. Obviously, a lot of us thought that Tim Tszyu was going to beat Fundora, being that Fundora just came out of a knockout. Well, Tim Tszyu got injured to start the fight. He got a nasty gash on the top of his head, as did Fundora on his nose. And although Tim Tszyu had a little bit of early success, it wasn't enough, man. To the 80-inch wingspan of Fundora, stayed disciplined in that fight. I don't know, man. He did what he had to do to win. He used his advantages to the absolute fullest. And he got the job done. I wasn't pretty, you know what I'm saying? He didn't run through Tim Tszyu, even though Tim Tszyu was injured. But his style, regardless, was going to give Tim Tszyu problems. Anyway, so we ask ourselves, how is Spence getting the fight and not Bud Crawford? And you see Bud is at, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, yo, you got to wait in line. And then Eroll Spence replied back with something like, I don't know, champ, I don't do lines. But this is the reality of it. And this is just my opinion. This is what makes the most sense, okay? Let's talk boxing. Let's talk a little bit of history right now. Why would PBC do what they do, everything they could do, to try to get Spence Fundora in Dallas? When I heard it was going to be in Dallas, of course it makes sense because Spence could feel that. But at the same time, y'all got to figure that Spence just came off of a nasty loss against Terance Bud Crawford. Now, PBC is a heavy hitter in the boxing game. And in my opinion, they reach out way more than boxing. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to commentators, the people that speak on the sport, I'm forgetting the name right now, but the broadcasters, all of them, they highly favor PBC fighters and really protect what they say against the PBC fighter that's out there. You know what I'm saying? So what I see happening here with Spence taking it to Dallas, see, y'all got to remember that Spence, before he ran into Terance Bud Crawford, was super dominant in the sport. He got into some wars, but always came out on top. He'd break a fighter down. He ran through everyone. Spence's resume is pretty impressive sitting back looking at it. So from going to that, to a one-hand beating, and it's whatever to get beat by Terance Bud Crawford, whatever. The problem is the fight had been years in the making. Both fighters talked quite a bit. Spence talked really big in the pressers, and nobody expected Spence to lose the way that he did. Spence got beat down, and he hasn't had a comeback fight, so none of us know how Spence is going to take that loss inside of the ring. That could really damage a fighter. Forget physically, right? Forget physically. Spence got in a car accident, came back. It didn't affect him physically. He bounced back from that, whatever. But up here, after fighting someone like Terance Bud Crawford, who was almost like your counterpart, you know what I'm saying? He was like the bad Spence was Terance Bud Crawford, right? Superman, crypto, whatever you want to call it. And the way that he took that beating had to mess with him up here. And if we could see that, I guarantee you the people that not run, I should say, but that handle Eroll Spence see that too. You got to remember, if you just have a regular comeback fight for Spence against anybody, whatever, just someone for him to come back, to get warmed up again, to get the ring rust off. If you make that fight happen in a smaller venue and Spence happens to lose because mentally he takes a punch or something that takes him back to the Bud fight, which does happen to fighters, right? After that, Spence's stock is going to drop, especially how social media is and how people talk. His stock will drop. We won't even be interested in seeing him fight another big name fight. So PBC has to throw him right into another big fight. Who cares if he gets hurt? Who cares who he's fighting against? Let's put Spence, while he's still Eroll Spence Jr., in Dallas, a stadium that loves him, in his hometown, and try to cash out on Eroll Spence Jr. If you ask me, that's exactly what's going on here. They're trying to cash out on Eroll Spence. And if y'all remember, a few months ago, I made a video when they first announced Rolly versus Pitbull Cruz. I said the same thing about Rolly. I said, this is weird. Rolly's not headlining a card. There's not talk about him with anyone else. Are they cashing out on Rolly against someone like Isaac Cruz? It sure damn look like it, because again, that's going to be a fight that it's going to be hard for Rolly to come back from. So that is what I'm thinking, because there's no reason that we should not be having Terance Bud Crawford versus Fundora, because that's what was talked about leading up to the fight. So of course now Fundora is going to vacate a title, he's going to rest, and they're going to try to make him versus Spence a mega fight in September or something like that. That should tell you right there. There was no build up to this because Fundora was a fill-in, right? Let's say that Tim Tszyu would have fought Keith Thurman, and then the outcome of that's who fought Spence. That makes a little bit more sense. But to let a fight marinate for this long, make it in Dallas against Fundora, who was a fill-in, who happened to get the nod, that to me looks like cashing out on a fighter. That's just what it looks like to me. And if you ask my opinion, that's the whole reason why Spence is going to jump in front of Terance Bud Crawford. Whoever's handling this, the advisors around the sport, are definitely going this route for a reason. I don't think it's on accident. You don't need to do a cash out fight with Terance Bud Crawford, because the dude is still doing it. He hasn't fought again, but he's still doing it. He's still big. He got a win in that last fight. No psychological stuff going on there. So that is what's going on. However, that's my theory on it. Okay, I just gave you my theory. They're looking to cash out on Spence. But if you ask a certain broadcaster or a certain boxing analyst, why isn't Terance Bud Crawford fighting Fundora? He might blame it on Canelo. And yeah, I'm speaking about Paulie Malignaggi. It's all Canelo's fight. It's all Canelo's fault. Anyway, yo, let me know what you guys think. You guys think that I got a point here? Do you think that they're just trying to cash out on Eroll Spence Jr. before he just exits the game and enjoys his millions? I don't know. I seem to think that's what it is. Anyway, y'all, drop a comment down below. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's get this video going. Thank you for the love once again. Much love. God bless. And remember, the truth shall set you free. Peace.